Dear students, welcome to Learning Management System, Department of Collegiate and Technical Education, Groundwater Engineering, Unit 6, Water Resource Engineering, course title is 15C52T, Session 47, 5th semester, Civil Engineering. Before starting Session 47, we have a recap of Session 46, where groundwater and its importance were discussed briefly. Now, what is groundwater? It's an engineering which deals with the occurrence ಸಂಭವಿಸುವುದು, ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸರಬರಾಜು ಮಾಡುವುದು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಚಲನ, that has infiltrated and passed downward into the earth is called as groundwater. This water which is available below the ground surface or earth surface or the surface of the earth is known as subsurface, is also known as subsurface water. Groundwater is divided into two parts. One is zone of aeration and another one is zone of saturation. In zone of aeration, the soil present here has voids or pores on it, and it is partially filled with the water. It has three parts. Zone of aeration has three parts. One is soil water, intermediate water, soil water zone, intermediate zone, and another is capillary fringe. Where capillary fringe is the fringe where water comes here from the capillary. In this capillary fringe, water comes here from the capillary action. Now coming to saturated zone. In saturated zone, it is also called as groundwater zone. In this zone, the water needed is available and can be used by pumping, by digging the wells. It comprises of solid and rocks. In the saturated zone or in the saturated formation, it is divided into four parts. One is aquifer, aquiclude, aquitard, and aquifers. Now coming to the definition of the groundwater. Soil water was the Vadosa water, capillary water, and water table were the definitions which we have discussed. Coming to the advantages of the groundwater over the surface water. Groundwater exhibits less fluctuations than the surface stream flow. It is more uniform in the quality. It is more uniform in quality, temperature, and other pollutants. And it is also free from weed seeds, plant organisms, and chemical composition. Importance of the groundwater. 99% of the liquid fresh water is underground water which is available. Groundwater is an important component for many industrial processes. Many of the industry use than the surface water, they use groundwater itself, since it is clean and clear, crystal clear water. Groundwater is the source of recharge for the lakes, rivers, and other materials. Now coming to the session 47. After learning this session, the student will be able to explain what is an aquifer, an aquiclude, aquitard, and aquifers. Now, what is an aquifer? It's defined as a geological formation. Geological formation in the sense it has bedrocks and the faults. It's defined as a geological formation that contains sufficient permeable material, where this permeable material permits the storage as well as transmission of the water to the ground surface under ordinary field conditions. This is about the definition of the aquifer. An aquifer contains a saturated material which will yield significant quantities of water to wells, springs, unconsolidated sands, and gravels. Now we have a small animated video which explains what is aquifer.
You see this hand pump? It's pumping water out. But where is the water coming from? That's exactly what I'll tell you. You know, the rainwater and water from other water bodies seeps down into the soil and is stored as groundwater. So the hand pump was pumping out this groundwater. Now, there is a name for this process through which the water passes down through the soil, and that is known as infiltration. This infiltrated water accumulates in the deep underground, at which point, where a layer of impermeable rocks are there.
This I
By
explained.
definition,
Impermeable rock.
impermeable rocks don't permit the water to seep down any further. And these places that have impermeable layer of rocks are known as
Aquifer.
aquifers. Have you heard of that
This
before?
is the
So
definition
due
of the
to
aquifer.
infiltration of rainwater or water from other bodies, it passes through the porous soil and recharges the groundwater. And this water in the aquifers is what is pumped out
Yes.
using
So water which is
this
pumped
water
out.
pump.
It's called an aquifer. Before starting the types, aquifer, the study of aquifer is also called as hydrogeology. Examples of the aquifer are sandy soil and gravel. Aquifer has both water holding and water transmitting capacity. Water holding means deposition of the water. Water transmitting means extraction of the water to the ground surface or surface water. Now coming to the types of the aquifers. It is divided into 4 types. One is unconfined aquifer, confined aquifer, perched aquifer and leaky aquifers. Now I'll discuss one by one. Unconfined aquifer. An unconfined aquifer is the one in which water table forms the upper surface of the zone of saturation. This zone of saturation I discussed already. The upper aquifer is shown in the figure is an unconfined aquifer. This is the unconfined aquifer, where it is at the level zone of saturation. The water table in unconfined aquifer is not stationary. It rises when more water enters the aquifer from the natural or the artificial recharge. That means water level or water table in the unconfined aquifer is not a stationary one. It will be moving. It rises when more water enters, and in the second point, the water table drops when recharge is less. If the recharge is less, the water table drops, and previously stored water flows outwards towards streams, wells, and other point of groundwater discharge. This is about the unconfined aquifer. Coming to the confined aquifer. An unconfined aquifer is the one in which groundwater is confined under pressure greater than the atmospheric pressure by overlying relatively impermeable strata. Means in unconfined aquifer there is a impermeable strata, means it does not allow the water to percolate deep below the confined aquifer. Water enters an unconfined aquifer in an area where confining bed rises to the surface as shown in the figure. That will explain in the figure. The static pressure here at the point within the confined aquifer is equivalent to the elevation of the water table, elevation of the height of the water table in the recharge area minus the loss of head through the aquifer to the point under the consideration. An imaginary surface representing the hydrostatic pressure head or the artesian head in confined aquifer is called as piezometric surface. This is the area where unconfined aquifer is present. It has an impermeable strata. It has a impermeable strata where this impermeable strata is bounded both above the confined aquifer, and below the confined aquifer. This is the pictorial representation which shows the unconfined and confined aquifer. Perched aquifer. This occurs wherever The groundwater body is separated from the main groundwater body by relatively impermeable strata. Means there is a groundwater body present in the aquifer. If there is also a small body which is separated from the groundwater body by the relatively impermeable strata. Means water cannot pass through it, still deeper. Wells penetrating perched aquifers yield only small quantities since it has an impermeable strata below the perched aquifer. And water that too only temporarily, because usually these aquifers are not recharged. Since they are not recharged, the water is temporarily available in small quantities. This is the image or the picture where perched water table is present. This is the perched aquifer. This is the impermeable strata below the perched aquifer. Hence, water is stored in the small quantities. Next, leaky aquifer. Leaky or semi-confined aquifer is the one which is bounded at the top by a semi-pervious strata or semi-confining layer. Here the water level in a well penetrating a semi-confined aquifer will rise above the bottom of the confining strata, and it represents the elevation of the piezometric surface at that point. Piezometric surface. This is the piezometric surface. This is the water table. This is the leaky phreatic where one part is impermeable or impervious layer is present below, and other layer is permeable where water is flowing in the upwards by the use of the wells or the artesian wells. Now, what is aquiclude? It is a geological formation of relatively impermeable material which permits the storage, means it contains or it gets deposition of the water, but it is not capable of transmitting water in sufficient quantity needed. Thus, aquiclude contains a saturated material which does not yield appreciable quantities of the water to the wells. Means we can use the water but sufficient quantity, but it does not yield appreciable quantities of the water to the wells. Hence, clay is an example of such type of formation. This is the aquiclude. What it says is rocks and soils having porosity but no impermeability. That means it can absorb the water, means aquiclude can absorb the water but cannot transmit the water. It can absorb the water but cannot transmit the water. See, this is the artificial well which is constructed. It can only absorb the water but you cannot transport. There is no watery area here. Even if it is available, there is no appreciable quantity of the water is not present. Hence, it means water storage is there but water transmitting is less. Example is clay. This is the pictorial representation which represents the aquiclude. Next, aquifuge. An aquifuge may be defined as a geological formation of relatively impermeable material which neither contains nor transmits. It neither deposits nor it transmits the water. Example is solid granite belongs to this category of formation. This is the pictorial representation. A recharge area for confined area is there. Unconfined area, aquiclude is present, confined aquifer, and this is aquifuge. It neither contains the water nor transmits the water. Neither deposits nor transmits. It's called as aquifuge. Next, aquitard. An aquitard may be defined as a geological formations of poorly permeable material or semi-pervious material which permits storage of water but obstructs groundwater for the moment and does not yield water freely to the wells. Groundwater is there but it obstructs the groundwater movement and hence it does not yield free water to the wells. It transmits appreciable quantity of the water from the adjacent aquifers. Further, where this formation is sufficiently thick, it may constitute an important groundwater storage. A formation of sandy clay belongs to this category. This is the pictorial representation where aquitard is present, where the layer is having low permeability. It's a combination of both aquifers and aquifer. Example is sandstone and igneous stones. Now coming to the comparison of groundwater formation. We have geological formations such as aquifer, aquitard, aquiclude, aquifers. Water storage for the geological formation of aquifer is, yes, water storage is there in this aquifer layer, in the geological formation of aquifer. In aquitard, water storage is there. Aquiclude, water storage is there. Aquifers, there is no storage of the water since it neither stores nor transmits. Permeability of the water. In aquifer, it's permeable. Water is permeable. Aquitard, permeability of water is partly permeable. Aquiclude, it is impermeable. Aquifers also, it is impermeable. Coming to the yield of the water. Yield of the water means transmitting the water to the ground surface, to the wells. Yes, aquifer, yield of the water is there. Aquitard, yield of the water is there, but slow yielding. Aquiclude, it do not yield water. Aquifers also do not yield water. Examples of the aquifer is sand, gravel. Examples of the aquitard is sandy clay. Examples of the aquiclude is clay. Examples of the aquifers is rocks such as granite and basalt, etc. So these are the comparison of the groundwater formations. Coming to the MCQs. First one, the geological formation that contains sufficient permeable material which permits storage as well as its transmission of water is known as dash. Given answers are A, artesian well, B is bedrock, C is aquifer, D is none of the above. Answer is aquifer, because in aquifer it contains as well as transmits the water. Answer is C, that is aquifer. Second one, an aquifer in which water table forms the upper surface of the zone of the saturation is known as dash. Given examples are unconfined aquifer, confined aquifer, phreatic aquifer, perched water table. In the unconfined aquifer, what happens? The upper surface of the zone it's an aquifer in which water table forms the upper surface of the zone of saturation. That is known as unconfined aquifer. But what happens in confined aquifer? Both are impermeable. Upper is also impermeable, bottom is also impermeable. Hence, answer is A, that is unconfined aquifer. A is the answer. Third, an imaginary surface representing the hydrostatic pressure head or artesian head in a confined aquifer is called dash. Given answers are recharge area, piezometric surface, potentiometric surface, and water table. While explaining leaky aquifer, explain that there is a surface created above the leaky aquifer, that is, yes, line was there, that is known as piezometric surface. It is an imaginary surface which represents a hydrostatic pressure head, that is known as piezometric surface. Answer is B. The geological formation of relatively impermeable material which permits storage of the water, which only permits the storage of the water, is known as dash. Given are aquiclude, aquifer, aquifers, and aquitard. This is the definition. Aquiclude is the geological formation where relative impermeable material which permits the storage of the water. Answer is A, aquiclude. Fifth one, the geological formations of relatively impermeable material which neither contains nor transmits water is known as dash. Answer is aquitard, artesian bore, aquifers, none of the above. Answer is aquifers. It neither contains, means it neither deposits the water nor transmits the water. It's known as aquifers. Answer is C. Dash is a special type of unconfined aquifer. Given are perched aquifer, leaky aquifer, clued aquifer, phreatic aquifer. Answer is A, that is perched aquifer. It is a special type of the perched aquifer where one surface is impermeable. 7. Solid granite belongs to dash category of the geological formation. We have various types of geological formation. Those are given are perched aquifer, aquifers, aquiclude, and aquitard. Solid granite where it neither transmits the water, not contains water, not deposits the water. It's a hard area, solid area where this belongs to the category of aquifers. Answer is B. Thank you all and all.